When I watch professional wrestling today's WWE, I always think about where I came from. I didn't come from the PG era. I came from the WWF Attitude and Ruthless Aggression at time, where professional wrestling was cool to watch. We had men like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock at the top of the business. You know, I came around 1999. I got caught up through about. I got caught up with the 1998 stuff through videotapes from Blockbuster Video. My mama rent tapes for me. I'm here to just say that the WWF to me back then when I was 13 years old, 14, really meant a lot to me because I was able to really feel what professional wrestling was. As a child, the WWF was really fun to me. You get that sense when you just love something so much that you just can't get away from it, and that's what the WWF was to me. I'm not talking about the WWE. I'm talking about the WWF because that's where it all started from before they changed the name. You know, um, I think that um, I think that WWF back then, I really enjoyed it. I really appreciate everything that I had back then. You know, because without that, I wouldn't try to at least watch this little pussyfy shit today. You know, back in the day, it was all about Stone Cold. It was all about The Rock. It was all about seeing good wrestling matches. It was about hearing good commentary. It was about seeing nice women on TV. And I was number 14 years old, maybe 13. And I loved every moment from start to finish of the WWF, from the opening ring bell to the end of segments with Stone Cold drinking his beer. Um, X Pac and Bradshaw, Farouk, Booker T, but Booker T hadn't came yet. It was awesome. It was the best thing for me. And some people talk about the Attitude Era. Oh, it was too edgy. It was too violent. It was too sexy. But no, it was fun. That's something that we all wanted to see. We all wanted to see that kind of professional wrestling. Not knocking the PG era because I'm telling you the truth. I do not like the PG era. I like what I started from. I like realness in professional wrestling. I like tough, badass motherfuckers in professional wrestling. I like them, like, even though Benoit did what he did, I like a man like Chris Benoit. When you heard his music, you knew he was coming out to kick ass. You know what I'm saying? Like Stone Cold. The moment that glass popped, in an instant, you was in Stone Cold Steve Austin mode. Whenever you would hear, if you smell what the rock is cooking, you knew that the rock was coming out to lay it to smack it down. When Stone Cold Steve Austin said he was gonna stomp a mud hole in somebody's ass, you knew Stone Cold Steve Austin was gonna walk right down that ramp and do what he said he was gonna do. Because that was the Attitude Era. You know, it was innovative. It was sexy. It was fun. You had sexy women. You had women flashing their tits. You had Jim Ross welcoming us to Raw. You had Stone Cold drinking beer. You had Triple H spitting his water. You had The Rock saying, "If you smell," you had all that. Jim Ross, we welcome you to WWF Raw, and it was so awesome. My two favorite wrestlers, besides the rest of them, was Stone Cold and The Rock. That's what it was for me. It was Austin Rock, and then it was the rest. That was what I was about when I was in high school. I liked all the matches that Benoit and Angle put on. I liked Jericho and his disses to Stephanie McMahon. You know, I liked the Al Snow and Head. I liked the Molly Holly. I liked the Sable. I liked the Jacqueline. Kane, the Attitude Era Kane was awesome. He always changed his wardrobe. He was awesome. I like the Taz. I like the whole foundation of the Attitude Era. Some people gearing up for WrestleMania 30. And I'm just gonna tell you this. As a fan growing up back then, enjoy your WrestleMania 30s because we had WrestleMania 17 and we had already booked our show. They had already planned for us. Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock went down there at WrestleMania 17 and they fought for the business. They fought to see who was the best. And that's what you're not going to get from professional wrestling today. You're not going to get people fighting for the business. You just got people politicking their way to the top of the WWE, like a Cena. And you got people walking out like CM Punk. The Attitude Era was something that you can love. And that's why half of us love the WWE and try to clean the hope. Because we always remember what we started. We always go back to our roots. And I've been going back to the WWE Network, going back to where it started. I didn't go to the PG era. I didn't go to the Hogan era when I got the network. I went to the Attitude Era first. That's where I stopped at first. Because I knew I wanted to see Stone Cold Steve Austin raising hell. Austin was the baddest motherfucker on the planet. And The Rock was the second baddest. And The Undertaker was the third baddest. And Triple H was the fourth baddest. And Kane was a badass himself. Everybody in the WWF was a badass. You know how you got that. You know how you felt on Monday Night Raw. On WWF Raw's War. Back in the day. When Jim Ross would welcome you to the WWF Raw. You knew how you feel when you heard those fireworks popping off. The Raw's War fireworks popping off. It was excellent. And I can't knock people for liking Cena, for liking Orton, because I had my professional wrestling. I had my WWF. I had my video games. I had my No Mercy video games, my WWF Attitude video games for Nintendo 64. I had all that good stuff. So if you like Daniel Bryan and you're a 13-year-old kid now, I was 13 years old and I had Steve Austin. I had The Undertaker. I had Trish Stratus. I had Triple H. And I have to appreciate that. I appreciate everything that I had, and I say give it all back to the next 13-year-old. You can have the PG era because I had attitude. I had The Rock coming down, laying a smack it down on all their candy asses. I had Stone Cold Steve Austin saying, I'm going to stomp a mud hole in your little sorry ass. If you don't get out my ring, I'm going to Stone Cold stun you. You know Stone Cold. You know Steve Austin didn't care about nobody but himself. So I'll give it back to the next 13-year-old. You can have this. You can have your WrestleMania 30s. Because I had WrestleMania 2000. I had WrestleMania 17, 18, 19, 20, all the way up into 25. I had my WWF. You enjoy your Daniel Bryans. If Daniel Bryan is relatable to you, if Daniel Bryan is relatable to you, you enjoy him. Because I enjoyed Stone Cold when I was your age. And whoever the 13-year-old boy out there who was my age when I started. Enjoyed the WWE. Because I already had mine. I already got the best out of mine. Because I was a child. And I look at that 13-year-old boy today. You just like me when I was growing up. You're just like me. You feel the same way that I felt when I was 13. You loved the WWE. And I loved the WWF. And I loved everybody who was in it. And I appreciate everything that it was. Like, SmackDown was so cool. Raw was so cool. And I'll never forget it. Never forget attending my first Attitude Era show back in St. Louis. I got to see Stone Cold and The Rock live, and it was awesome. You know that feeling you get when the glass pop. Once the glass pop, who's going to come out? Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I just want to say, professional wrestling today will never be what the Attitude Era was. And I appreciate everything that it was. And I'm going to continue to go back to my roots on the network. So, peace, y'all.